So this is from John from Toronto, and he was wondering, how did you gain confidence and stop worrying about what others were thinking? This is a good one. I know you're gonna kill this one.
Well, again, the starting point of everything is decision. So I didn't like feeling so insecure. I really got fed up with it. I mean, I was up and down, and when I was down, man. I mean, I could be down for days, weeks. I remember, like when I was younger, I wouldn't even go out. You know, my buddies go, "Hey, we're going out here, we're going out there," and I go, "I'm just going to stay home." And man, it was severe being home alone, feeling the way I was feeling. And then when I was out, I was second guessing myself so much. Like I'd be talking to you, let's say, and we'd be having a conversation. And as soon as I'd say something to the conversation, in my mind, I'm replaying it and second guessing everything that I was saying. Like I literally thought I was going crazy. I turned to drugs and alcohol. And luckily for me, the more stoned I got, the more paranoid I got, to a point where I go, I'm not doing that anymore. And so I finally quit drugs. Now it took me, I started drugs at 15 and it was 23 when I finally said, okay, I'm done with that because that ain't working. So decision. And I think I just got to a point where I just didn't like the way that I felt. And really what it came down to is what I discovered, and you're going to hear me talk a lot about an amazing book called The Four Agreements. It's by Don Miguel Ruiz. If you haven't read it, if you're anything you tonight relates to you, I'd read it. It's a little book. First time I read it, it took me a couple hours to read it. It doesn't take very long. And he talks about that we've made these agreements. Our parents programmed us, rules, values, beliefs, what's right, what's wrong, what's good, what's bad, what I can't do, what I should do, who I am, who I'm not, et cetera, et cetera. And you just make these agreements. You just go along and go, okay, well, that's what they're telling me. That must be the deal. And so you agree. He said, if you replace your agreements with these four agreements, your entire life will change. And literally that book, literally saved my life, literally. And so the second agreement was don't take anything personally. What other people say and do is how they see you and how they see the world through their own agreements. He says we live in this matote, this fog. So he's a Mexican Toltec Nagual, spiritual leader. And we live in this fog. And so you're perceiving me right now, whether you like me or you don't like me, or I'm pissing you off or I'm getting you motivated or whatever, you're seeing me through your agreements. And so I just inherited that agreement. I don't take anything personally. And then what I did, I just started affirming it, repeating it over and over, writing it, saying it out loud, saying it in my mind, affirming, catching myself when I was taking things personally, go, nope, I'm not taking anything personally. And I just kept doing that over and over and over. Now, it took me a long time. And I thought, am I ever going to get this? Am I ever going to get this straight? And then I started studying this information, really understanding your mindset and how it controls you in this mental program that we got running. And when I started studying that, I started to discover who and what I really am. So you're created in God's image. And Bob Proctor, who I mentioned mentors me, he said, we're spiritual beings living in a physical body, and we've been gifted with an intellect. And things that I had read said that I am a soul. I don't have a soul, I am a soul. And so when I figured that, I go, you know what? I'm going to start thinking like a spiritual being, not like a human being way down here. I'm going to get up here and look down on situations and go, what would a spiritual being do? What would a God-like being do? If I'm creating God's image, I can think in God's image. And I just started thinking different again, changing my perception. And I finally realized, why the hell would I care what anybody thinks? And I used to call Bob up, and because I was really struggling with this. And he said, why would you care what anybody thinks? And I don't know. I mean, I just did. But I finally made up my mind that that's it, I'm done. And I just started affirming it over and over and over and over and over again. And then the confidence started to come. And then I started acting. Like for me to start this show, I was taking it personally. And I was letting my ego and other crap get in my way of saying, well, you should wait, Doug, or you're not ready or whatever. And I was holding off. Tyson's bugging me to do the show for almost 2 years now. And, I was concerned about what you were going to think. And then finally I got to a point very quickly when I figured out how to change it quickly. And that's what I wanted to do. When I figured out how to change things quickly, I want to show you how to do it really quickly. And I know how to do that. I guess I just decided and started acting like that person. And then I got a reaction to the action, which gave me more confidence. And so confidence comes from either experience or confidence comes from action. And your self-image actually gets built through the law of cause and effect. You create a cause, you take an action, you get a reaction, and you get a reaction. So you act like the person you want to become, and you get a reaction to that action, and you become that person. And so you can work with the law, and we'll talk more about working with the law. You can work with the law to become more confident and just really release yourself from what other people are thinking.